What's up,
yeah.
people? How do you
Hello,
say?
people. How many we got? About 3.
5.
Oh yeah, 3. There is 3.
5 total.
5. Got 5.
Good to have those 5.
Yeah, well, 2 of them are us.
So what? It's a good
just,
thing we listen
you
to
know.
us, 'cause no one else would.
I'm surprised anyone ever listens to us. To be quite honest, who wants to listen to this shit?
Yes,
Well, that's a positive
self-deprecating.
way to start.
Yeah. Let's all knock everything we do. La da da. I get it.
Are we ready?
No. I'm just gonna keep
don't know.
doing this thing until it gets
I don't know.
exhausted. La da da.
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers. Juju, Jimmy, and the fellas will tell you about every single game that you're playing this week. News, reviews, and an indie pick. Story time and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Duke with soundbite savior.
Who does the bell fall for?
What's the matter, kid? You got wax in your ears?
Is that a joke? Yeah. That's pretty good.
Veteran gamers. Yeah, boy.
Technically, I'm homeless.
Switch that console off before you have to press repeat, yo.
Okay, like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted.
Hello and welcome to episode 467 of the Veteran Gamers podcast.
Yay, 467! The manager of the store is named Bevan.
I like it. It's good.
Yeah, it's from Flight of the Conchords.
There you go.
Yo,
So, who are you?
I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
And I'm Chinny.
Hey.
Hey, we are the veteran gamers, but we're not military veterans, people. Let me explain this. We are veterans of the gaming lifestyle. We've been gaming since before many of our listeners were even born. So shut up, listeners, trying to talk about who we are.
That's right.
Yeah,
Thank you, Eric.
we were-
We also stream live on YouTube and Twitch Sunday night, 9 p.m. But that's at British time. So if you live in a different time zone, that won't quite work for you.
If you're not eating crumpets, then you won't be able to tune in.
Well,
Yeah,
you
but
could.
those people toast the crumpets.
Yes,
Like
Crum-
you.
those-
Toast your crumpets, people. If you try to eat it raw in an airport waiting room, it's going to be
Horrible.
disgusting,
Yes.
Horrible.
and you'll throw it
Jeez.
away.
The hell were you
That's not what
thinking?
you're supposed to do with a crumpet. Throw it away after eating a little bit of it in
I
the
know.
airport.
And there was a giant crumpet. We wasted giant crumpets on you.
You aren't just throwing away some of a crumpet. We're throwing away like the equivalent of like 5 crumpets.
It was.
It's
It was.
pathetic.
Terribly pathetic you are. Anyway, Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
I can't believe how close it is. It's like, where is the last week gone?
Chinny was playing that recently in his house.
I was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was, weirdly.
Were you playing Christmas in Hollis, really?
Yes,
Yeah, it's the best Christmas song ever.
it is. And if I'm not mistaken, that's on Die Hard. Because he's playing it in the limo at the beginning as he's pulling up.
Maybe. And I'm not a big Die Hard fan the way most people are, but I know that they were playing it on The Office, the U.S. Office, when they had a Christmas party during the first season. So kudos to them for that.
Yeah, I also listened to Christmas in the Hood.
I don't know what that is.
That's by Snoop Dogg, and I'm assuming it's his brother or some relation because he's called Dog as well, but it might not be. Who knows?
It's
Nate-
the
was
whole
it
dog
Nate?
family.
Yeah, there's a whole dog family.
it
you know,
Nate
Snoop
Dogg?
Dogg,
Nate
Dog, Dog,
Was-
Dog,
was
Dog
it-
Eaton.
Was it Nate Dogg?
It could have been Nate Dogg.
Okay.
R.I.P. Nate Dogg.
Well, there
No.
was a record a long time ago called Christmas Rap, and that had Christmas in Hollis, as well as Dana Dana's Coming to Town, which was a good Christmas song.
Dana Davis is coming to town. Yeah. Is it that?
It had Sweet Tea, would Let the Jingle Bells Rock, which is also a good Christmas rap song, and Ghetto Santa, which was interesting. But it did not have the Treacherous Threes Christmas song, which I don't remember what that is, but yeah, that was the one that goes, after my last few Christmas nights, if I see you around the neighborhood, I'll shoot you on sight. And I ain't even got a chimney for you to come down. So I don't need for you to be coming around. So
Brilliant.
it was
Those
about,
kids went with no presents that year.
oh, absolutely no presents. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
because
all
Santa
out
was
how
too
we
scared
don't
in
have
case he got
any-
shot.
We'll get your welfare check and that whole thing. Yeah. It was not a very progressive Christmas song, but it was funny. So whatever.
There you go.
There you
Who
go.
knew? Christmas rap songs.
That's
There's
right.
loads of them. But yeah, Christmas is coming for
Merry
for Chinny
Christmas,
and I,
everybody.
not for you
Celebrate
so much.
Happy Hanukkah if there's any Hebrews listening, and joyous Eid. It was a while ago when Eid. I don't remember when Eid was, but anybody who's listening who celebrates Eid, happy Eid.
Happy Alien Zyborg Day for Scientologists.
Eid was in August of this year. So
Happy for those people out there.
I don't know what language that is.
That was
that was
Scottish.
They know what. Those who are listening know.
That was Scottish.
It actually sounded more like Welsh, if I'm being honest.
Happy Kwanzaa if anybody celebrates that. And as Tracy Jordan said on 30 Rock when someone wished him a happy Kwanzaa, a sham-a-lamb to you too, my brother.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh,
I've got a story.
We have our first chat message. Here we go.
Oh.
The chat is ready to display messages.
Wow.
Awesome.
Ah.
Hooray!
Yeah.
But
we
yes,
so
I've got
what's
a
on your
story.
wish list
Story.
for Christmas?
Oh, mine? Nothing.
Yeah.
Note.
Nothing, really.
I don't want anything. What do I need?
I don't make
man.
wish lists, Eric, because
Christmas
I
is
think
due-
they're selfish, and I think because I think that I should be given more presents.
Well, yeah, your magnanimity and your selflessness should be rewarded with gifts.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, I already know what I'm getting because what I do is go, I quite fancy one of these, Kay. Shall I buy it and then you can give it me for Christmas? Works every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what did you buy yourself?
Well,
Wow.
have you ever seen the film Enter the Dragon?
Yes.
You bought yourself Bruce
Bruce Lee.
Lee.
I bought myself the real
And
Bruce
Kareem
Lee.
Abdul-Jabbar to go with it.
His skeleton off eBay. I'm sure it's the authentic thing.
No,
No,
I actually have a student named Brandon Lee.
That's sick.
It's crazy.
but
Anyway,
you
go
know
on.
those crazy yellow trainers he wears, and then obviously
Yes.
they were reprised in Kill Bill.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, well, I got me some of those,
Not
but they're
those.
not bright yellow.
Oh,
No,
right.
not those bright yellow ones. No, they're the same style of shoe, but grey, and they're very nice.
Now, if you put on a yellow shirt, you can go out into the streets of Paris and have a good time.
I can. So I've got that, and I don't know, something else, and then there's some surprises. Kay always gets me a few things I don't know about, which is the main thing, you know.
Dildos.
And what did you get that she doesn't know about?
Yeah.
Soul
a
Brother.
vibrating lady.
Soul Brother says hello. Hey everyone, he says.
Hello.
Hello, soul brother. So yeah, that's it. What about you, Chinny? Have you got anything specifically that you know you're getting, or whatever?
I'm no good at sort of Christmas lists really, because Tara's mom says, "All right, Christmas list, everyone." I know I've got nothing.
Got
And
nothing.
you just
I'm the
write
same.
peace and goodwill toward everyone.
I
Give me
just
some socks, pants.
yeah, I just you know, even my like nephew's not very good at, like, my nephew's 14 now, Jimmy, we all know Jim, but he doesn't really need, like, he says, like, you know, I'll have some money, but you know, in terms of presents and stuff, he says, just get me stupid stuff, is what he says.
Yeah, I like that. Stupid.
Like you know, the like stocking filler kind of stuff, where it's you play with it for a day and then it's done.
Throw it in the trash.
Pretty much, like, Jimmy likes those presents.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did I see? I saw something the other day and I thought it was really cool, and I can't for the life. It was a gun that shot something really weird. But
Bullets.
no, it was something really stupid that it shot out.
Pride?
I don't know. Can't remember now.
Did it shoot
But it
Pride?
looked cool anyway.
No.
No.
Like raw chicken flesh.
You know, one year for Feng Chewy, I bought him like
Dildo.
a crossbow that fired these sucker darts, and he thought it was the best thing he'd ever been bought, you know. But it was pretty powerful. You had to be careful with them darts, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They were a bit
You'll
scary.
put your eye out.
Yeah, put your eye. That's what Kay always says. Hey, put your eye out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a story.
Right. It's story time. Story time.
Well, I was playing that for my story, but you go first, Stu.
Go on, I'll go for it. Do you know
See,
how
Santa, that's my magnanimity. Bring me stuff.
I saw what you did there.
I'm talking to Santa, not you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like I like botching things, and you know, stuff breaks, so I have a go at fixing it or whatever.
Yeah. You sawed a hole in your PC case.
I did. It works. It's still
For your
working.
ability to fix things.
I have an uncanny ability to fix things, because this week, right, I have a Samsung. I don't know whether this broke last week or whether it's broke this week. I can't remember, but I've got a Samsung Galaxy 10-inch tablet
Oh, you got a 10-incher, huh?
I got a 10-inch tablet. And it's been fine. I've had it for about 3 years, and I've never had any issues with it, really.
What would you say the number one thing you use it for is?
What do I say? The what?
What would you say is the number one thing you use your tablet for?
Usually just browsing the internet, really. Watching stuff on Netflix and whatever. I use it for that quite a bit.
I see.
I use it quite a bit. Anyway, so this week I left it with the screen cover slightly ajar, which meant the screen stayed on all night. So when I came down in the morning, it was flat as a pancake. The battery was completely dead. So I thought, that's all right. So I stuck it on charge. Nothing happened, right? So I'm like, what the hell? So it wouldn't turn on, or appeared not to turn on, and there was nothing on the screen, and it was all completely black, and I was like, what is going on? I know. I'm like, it's broken. What the hell? Tried all different chargers, seemed to make no difference. And then what happened was I was holding it in the light in the kitchen while I was trying to, fiddle with it. And I noticed it was actually on, but there was just no backlight, so you couldn't actually see it. You could see it in light. So then I'm like, what the hell? It's completely
What is
broken.
happening here?
What is happening? So, thank God for YouTube. So I went on YouTube. I know, yeah. Went on YouTube, and this dude's like, oh, what you need to do is get yourself a Lego separator.
Oh, that's right. You talked about this last week, and you were going to bust open your tablet.
I did. So
did you bust open your tablet?
I bust open my tablet today.
Take that tablet, suck it.
So luckily, Millie, as a Lego enthusiast, has got Lego separators.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So I got one of those things, and I slowly prized off the back casing of the tablet.
And all sorts of worms come crawling out of it?
No. It was very clean inside, to be fair. There's lots of very clean. They're quite well sealed. It wasn't that big a deal to get it. Once I got it going, it unclipped pretty easily, so the back came off. And then across the back of the battery were two ribbon connectors. So I disconnected both of those, waited for about half a minute, and then slid them back in and clipped them back in place. And lo and behold, it's fixed.
Yay!
There you go. Yeah, craziness.
Well done, Stu.
I know. I was like, I can't believe it. I expected to just
repair
break
shop
them all.
iPads now.
I know. You see, I just fixed it myself. Fixed it myself, man.
Good job.
Yeah. So I'm quite happy. So I don't have to buy a new tablet.
That's all it took. I mean, usually it's like, yeah, take it to the Genius Bar.
No, dude on YouTube knew what he was talking about. He's like, disconnect this shit, reconnect this shit, sorted.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
It would be pretty frustrating if that didn't work out like that.
Well, I'd resign myself to the fact that I'd have to buy something new if it didn't work, but it did, so I don't care. Anyway, moving on. That's not games.
My story time.
Go on, yours, go.
We go to get brunch at this place down the street most Sundays, and our server is this really cool lady, and I made her a cross stitch. And I realized on Thursday that I was getting within a certain distance of getting done. And I was like, if I hustle, I can get done with the whole thing by Sunday morning. So I started sort of hitting the gas and really putting in more time into this cross stitch thing. And then I got it done. I got most of it done last night, and then I woke up early this morning and I did some more and I finished it, and I was like, yes. And then I ironed it and I put it in the frame, I cleaned the glass and all that, and we went to brunch, and she wasn't serving at brunch today.
I thought he was going to say she'd left. She didn't work there anymore.
Damn it, stupid lady, why do you gotta not be here today? And I asked the server, and our server today was a very nice guy named Chris, and I said, Chris, is Mariah not here today? And he goes, no, she's not in today. She might be over at the Cabaret. There's this place across the street that's owned by the same company.
Oh, all right, okay.
Well, and I was so gutted. I was all ready for her to be all like, oh my God, it's so great. So I was like, whatever, we'll stick our head in on the way out at the other place. And we stuck our way in, and then she was in the other place. So I was able to give her the gift.
And what did she go mental? Did she was
she
like, oh my God?
She was very, very happy, and she thought it was very sweet, and it was like, yay.
Or did she go, what are you doing, creepy guy? Why are you giving me that?
What?
Did she not go, what are you doing, you creepo? What are you doing?
Yeah, really?
What gift?
I don't know you like that.
Yeah, what are you doing?
No, it was great. And yeah, so now I need to figure out what I'm going to stitch next. I think it's going to be something for my We'll figure it out. But it's a type of thing where like I was basically doing nothing but stitching for the last like 48 hours, so I'm ready to not stitch for a little bit here.
48 hours of straight stitching.
Kinda. It was a lot of stitching. And y'all know that my schedule is pretty busy, right? I teach. I'm the sponsor of the Amnesty International group at my school. I'm the sponsor of the Circle of Mindfulness, and I'm the head building rep for the union. So I got a full plate, right?
I'm Rocket League. Don't forget Rocket League.
Rocket League. Let's not forget. Although this dude today, I was about to play Fallout. I guess I had played a game of Rocket League and then I won. And lately, after I win one game, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go play something else now. Because if I try to win like 3, then I end up with 7 losses in between the second and the third win, and it's just like I get real frustrated. So I'm like trying to limit my Rocket League, whatever. This dude that I friended at one point because we played a game together, and then it was like we had a good chemistry or something. He texts me on Steam and he goes rank, and I was like, I didn't realize he had texted me at first, so I quit Rocket League and then I start up Fallout 4, and he texts me his rank. And I was like, oh, yes, I have a rank in Rocket League. I was being kind of a jackass, okay. And he goes, no, what's your rank? I thought you wanted to play a game. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm playing Fallout now. And he goes, yeah, you didn't respond to me for like a month. And I was like, you mean like since you first texted me today? He's like, no, I texted you a long time ago. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't remember that. He's like, well, you can't bother being friends with people. Like, fine, you play games all the time. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like his feelings were so hurt that I didn't respond right away.
Dude, you nasty person.
Sent me a message.
You're so mean.
I was just like, whatever, dude. I guess I'm not gonna be your friend anymore. He's like, I guess not. I was like, well, I'll make it somehow. I don't know what to tell you, dude.
I guess we can't be friends no more.
You
can't tell me what rank you are.
Now.
Well, if he kills himself, that's really nothing to do with me. Although
because
it's funny you say that.
So much.
You know, it's funny you say that. I'm actually reading a book right now by Sue Klebold. Here's the book right here. It's called A Mother's Reckoning, Living in the Aftermath of Tragedy. Her son was Dylan Klebold, one of the shooters at Columbine High School.
Wow.
And it's a heartbreaking book. It's so good. It's really interesting, and she's a good writer, and there's so much stuff in here that's like, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of it that I already heard. In terms of like these things can be warning signs for depression, those things can be warning signs for depression, but he really hid it well from his parents. Like he didn't. It's just crazy. So anyway, you talk about suicide, and I start thinking about this kid. So
yeah. You can joke about the old show up. Yeah, it's a jolly old show tonight we're having.
Thank you, Antonio. We appreciate you stopping by. He left a little note in the chat.
Yes,
are we ready to talk about what we've been playing? Chinny, you got any stories?
I think we should.
No.
Okay.
What you been playing?
What you been playing? What you been playing?
By the way, I didn't finish that other story I was going to tell. My life is very busy. And then the Duchess just recently, this week, decided she's going to run for alder of our local district.
How does that even mean?
She's going to be on the city council. So,
wow.
so has this campaign, and I got to help with the website and everything. And she's very clear that she's not trying to make it something that she's choosing for me. But, you know, I've got skills I can lend to the campaign. All right. So it's just
she wants power. She wants some power.
It's just like one more thing on my plate now is like to work on this.
She wants to tell people what to do. That's what she's going to be doing.
Anyway, so whatever. That's another thing in my life, which means less time for games. But that's okay.
There's always less time. I've had no time for games hardly at all this week. I've been working.
Oh, you're just rubbish. What do you like?
No, working. What the hell's all that about?
What do you like?
What do you like? So, Chitty, what have you been playing then apart from Red Dead, or is it just Red Dead only?
Just Red Dead.
Jesus.
Red Dead!
We should just rename this to the Red Dead 2 podcast.
It's finished.
Yay! Finished! How about that?
I've been absolutely hammering it to get it done.
And you got it done?
And I got it done. I did. And
well done.
I'm very pleased with it. Very, very happy with it. I think they did a fantastic job. And yeah, there's I wish somebody had told me this, what I'm about to say here, right?
Okay.
There's natural. It's no sort of massive reach that there's an epilogue to the game, right?
Okay.
So it kind of ends, and then there's like a bit more.
Yeah, similar to the first game, I'm guessing.
Yes and
Not
no.
a similar type of thing, but similar. Like, there's a little bit more.
I suppose. But anyway, there's an epilogue, right? Yeah, that epilogue is 6 hours long.
Freaking
What?
hell.
So
That's like a whole other game.
it is. I would, if somebody just said to me, "Hey, this epilogue is another 6 hours," you can just take your time. Because what I was doing was, okay, game's done.
I want to get it done so I can talk about the epilogue on
Yeah,
the show. It'll
okay,
be
I'll
an
just
hour and it'll be fine.
I'll just smash this epilogue, and then I'll be done in like an hour. And it just doesn't end. So I'm just like, oh my god, like why is it not ending? And it just keeps on going on. It says, you're in trouble when it says epilogue part 1, and you're like, oh fuck. And yeah, it's a long epilogue. It's cool. It's a very, very cool epilogue. But it's just, I wish somebody just said to me, it's about 6 hours long. So, you've still got a way to go doing it. But very, very good. Very, very good. And I'm still playing the game. Would you believe? I've finished the main story. The story is 100%. And I can't get enough of it. I still am playing, running around.
Just roaming the Wild West, causing havoc.
There's a big part of the
Way
map
to go.
that you don't get to in the game.
Really?
There's a massive section of the map that you never really see throughout the whole stuff for no reason. It's just there. Sorry?
It's like the Wild West itself. It's just like it's a big open area for you to explore.
Yeah, there's a whole area like it's there. Like I'm trying to be really like spoiler free here, but basically the game opens up when the start of the story is you fleeing from Blackwater, right, which is a town in Red Dead 1, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
And you think that you're gonna go back to Blackwater, and you do eventually, but then there's more from Red Dead 1 there's like basically the Red Dead 1 map is 2 halves, isn't it? It's actually 3 parts, but like say you got the top half and then the bottom half, and the bottom half's Mexico. The top half of the Red Dead 1 map is in Red Dead 2.
Gotcha.
But you, apart from Blackwater, you don't go there at all.
Interesting.
So I was like, when I was done with the story, I was like, I want to go there because I remember, and obviously when you get there are things to do. They're not story missions or anything, but there's bounty hunter things. You get there and stuff's going on, and so that's what I've been doing today. Is just riding around. The areas
you
that
do
I've known.
go in a very early mission. You go close to Blackwater, but you never actually go in the town or anything. So there's an early mission where you have to go there for something. I can't remember.
You do eventually get in there.
So let me ask this question for you, Chinny. Now that you're done with the game, if Red Dead Redemption 1, I'm talking about the emotional texture of the end of the game.
Yeah.
If Red Dead Redemption 1 is 100, what is the Red Dead Redemption 2 emotional texture?
I would say 100 again.
Wow.
It's very, very good. I'd have to say it's probably a better told story. I would find it hard to believe that you didn't like Arthur Morgan, like more than you would like John. Arthur's just such a cool character, and the story that plays out it's just really nice and like it's really well told and really well handled, and it doesn't quite go how you expect it to go. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like I hear a few people go, well, I bet this happens and I bet that happens, and even like I'm not gonna say anything obviously, but like even going into this game, I'm like, well, Arthur is never mentioned in Red Dead 1, so you assume he's gonna die and stuff like that. So then you think, oh, okay, but like just things don't quite happen how you think they're gonna happen, which is really good. And characters, well, you recognise characters in Red Dead 2 that you know survive, right? For example, in Red Dead 1, you chase Bill Williamson for a lot
Yeah.
of the game, and you find Dutch and there's Javier and all this sort of stuff. These characters are all in Red Dead 2, so you know they survive. You know, no matter what happens to John, you know he's going to live, right? But so he gets shot at one point, like off a train in a big scene, and everybody thinks he's dead, and you know as the player, you know he's survived. So there's no surprise there.
Like irony that is.
Well, yeah, there's that, but like there's nice little twists and turns they do, and just like crazy, like just mental stuff that are in the game that you can't believe that are in there, like okay, without spoiling anything.
I know this is the trouble because there'll be some stuff even I haven't seen yet.
So that's in the game, you burn down a house, like in the story, like you burn like this rich person's house down, right?
Burning down the house.
And you can, if you go back there, it's all still burnt out and stuff. Certain houses are under construction at the start of the game, and when you come back, they're fixed. There's just dialogue everywhere. Like even now that I'm playing the game is absolutely 100% story done, right? And there's still just things to do. There's still like dialogue going on. I go to one town, which is a town from Red Dead 1, which is Tumbleweed, and the sheriff. I walk in and there's a whole cutscene going on, and the sheriff's like, "Well, I need a bounty hunter. You look like you'll do," and you can keep sort of asking him questions, and there's more dialogue and more. Like, how much dialogue did they write for this game? It's unbelievable. It's just handled so well, and I think the story. Just to go back to your question, I think for me it was easier to understand what was going on.
Yeah.
It was easier to understand who to hate in the game, because my one flaw with Red Dead 1 is that you're constantly chasing like a ghost, almost like you're chasing Bill Williamson, but you don't really know who he is, and you don't know much about him. Whereas the bad guy in Red Dead 2 slowly emerges, and you kind of always knew it would be this person.
Right.
And when it comes to getting this person, you really want to get them, you know. So it's a great.
Is this the first prequel that Rockstar's
Yes.
ever done?
I suppose Vice City is a prequel to GTA 3.
Right.
There's always crossover with little characters and stuff, but this is the first time Rockstar have ever made a game where they've like, no, this is like directly linked. Like, this is going to feature a load of characters from Red Dead 1. This is the backstory of John's gang that he was in. This is, you know, a massive like direct like sequel basically, or prequel to the previous game. They've never really done that before. You know, in the Lost and Damned and Ballad of Gay Tony, all of those stories are happening at the same time and GTA 4. So there's one mission in GTA 4 that links all three of those characters together in the same place, where I think it's the museum on Central Park, and all three characters, unbeknownst to each other, are all fighting against each other. And you get to play out all those characters and stuff. So that's quite cool.
I know I kind of said this before, but I am thinking that when Christmas break comes up here soon, I very well might get a PS4 and play this.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if you had any disappointment with it. It is a long haul. It's a massive game. There are things with it that are like that are not perfect and everything. But I think it's phenomenal. I think it's a phenomenal game. I love it. I never wanted it to end. Even when it was dragging on, I was like, "This is never gonna end?" Yeah, I absolutely love it. And now I'm just roaming everywhere.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like when I finished Fallout 3 for the first time. Like, okay, story's done. I've done all these other side missions. Now I just want to wander around and uncover every location.
Yeah, that's it. So, you know, and as I go around, there's bits and bobs, and I'm looking at like Easter eggs you can unlock. There's a murder mystery quests that I never found. People kept on finding this dead body by Valentine, and I never found it. I found
Valentine,
one.
a robot?
So
Just kidding.
I found another dead body somewhere else, but there's 4 dead bodies, and then you uncover like where this person is and all that sort of stuff. There's treasure maps. There's
a Hobbit house. Have you come across the Hobbit house?
No.
There's a Hobbit house. One of the ones I've seen quite. There's some weird murder house where you go in and there's loads of people being like just slaughtered.
No. See, I haven't
In
seen...
a house.
There's one. There's a dead body on a beach, and you go up to it, and it's a dead slave, and he's still got shackles on him, and then you open and you search his body, and he's got a letter, and it like his life story basically. Just even once, like I killed a bunch of guys for a story mission, and I looted one of them, and one of them had a letter, and the letter was like from his son, and it was a drawing of him and his mum and his kid by their new like house, and it was just a random guy that I killed, and I was like, "Fucking hell, this is grim," because like I just killed him. Yeah, it's so detailed. There's just everything's layered everywhere, and there's tons in the game that has yet to be discovered, and there's loads of Easter eggs that have been discovered, and it just goes on and on and on. Good value for money, I think, Eric. I think you'll be fine.
All right.
There you go. You'll be fine.
I'm done. I think I will 100% it. It's a beast of a game. There's a lot to do. I think the challenges is what's going to break a lot of people. There's these challenges that you can do, and they're not very interesting. But yeah, there's just tons to discover that I haven't discovered yet. So I can't wait.
Yeah,
Red Dead 2.
Yeah, there's one here. I'm just looking at Easter eggs now, and there's one which is kind of cool, where you find a hut where it looks like there's been some sort of weird ritual going on, like a cult thing.
Right.
And if you pick up the letter, it said the second hour under the half moon. So if you go there at that particular time, and it's in the lunar cycle in Red Dead, a UFO appears.
Yeah,
I've heard
about the UFO. Yeah.
Ghost train. I didn't know it was a ghost train. Apparently, you see a spectral locomotive rumbling along the tracks.
Yeah, there's all sorts.
There's
there's a woman. I heard about this.
Never really fascinated me very much.
There's a woman.
They're cool when you spontaneously come upon them, but the stuff you got to like go out of your way to do, I'm like, whatever.
Well, I found one where like there was this woman just locked in a shed, like a little one cabin shed, and she's gone crazy. And in the story,
wallpaper on the shed.
Say again.
Was there yellow wallpaper on the shed?
No.
There's a story, the yellow wallpaper, about a woman who goes crazy.
And so she's in this little tiny like porter cabin thing. She's gone crazy, and then in the story, like it goes like years later kind of thing. So when you go back, she's still in the shed, but she's just a skeleton.
Interesting.
So yeah,
wow.
Little details.
All right. Anything else about Red Dead 2?
It's fantastic. That's all I gotta say about it. I love it so much. Yeah.
Coolio. Yeah, so that's it for you, I guess. There's nothing else for you to talk about now. You're done.
Yep.
Done. So we'll go to you, Duke. What have you been doing?
Let me get rid of these Battle Royale games from last week because I ain't touched them again. In fact, I uninstalled CSGO. I played a couple more games of it, and then I'm like, I think I'm done with CSGO for a while. I don't know. I played some more Iron Sight, like Shooter, the free shooter. It's a good game. It's free. I don't know. I played some Rocket League, of course. I played some poker. But the main thing I've been playing is Fallout 4, Nuka World. I finished Opus Magnum. Did I say that?
No.
I finished Opus Magnum! Oh my god, I finished it! So take that, everyone who thought I was going to get sick of it.
I think you was close last week. I think you were close to it.
I was close last week. Yeah, I was on the last chapter, but yeah, I finished it. And there's a story, but the story, I don't know. I think they tried to end it with like a twist and then another twist, but the whole time I'm just like, I don't really follow exactly what's happening here, because the way they tell the story is entirely with just a person's face and then like the dialogue they're saying. So like there's no action, there's no animation. It's just a person's face and then what they're saying. So it was the story was okay. It wasn't very good, but whatever. It didn't matter. The real point of the game is the puzzles, and they're great. And I got done with the last one, and I had done it in a way that was pretty fluid and pretty cheap. So I was very proud of myself. And now there's this like appendix that comes with the game. Well, first of all, there's a bonus mode where you have like a very small space to work in. And I'll be honest, I looked at the first puzzle for that little small space thing, and I was like, how in the world are you supposed to do this? Because it's tiny, and you're supposed to be rotating these big ass molecules of things. And I was like, I don't see how you're supposed to do this. And you know what? The thing I love about the game is that it's wide open and you're not constrained in that way. So I'm not doing these puzzles that are all constrained and tight. Like, screw y'all. So anyway, yeah. But then there's this appendix that's like, oh, all these other puzzles. So there's a lot of extra content. And there's a Steam Workshop where people make their own puzzles. And so there's a lot more content waiting for me.
But are they really any good though?
Well, the extra stuff in the appendix are interesting. They're pretty big.
Yeah, no, I mean in the sort of things that other people have made. Are they really
mixed
good?
Bag, as always. There's always a mixed bag. You know, some of them will be good, some of them will be shit. But I think, I don't know. I'll be interested to see what people come up with in the online content. Because
I think it's weird because I've played quite a few mods for Portal. You know, where people have come up with their own Portal, and they're never as good.
Well, they're never going to be as good as Valve. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing.
You know what I mean?
Right. But here's the thing. The difference is Portal is such a wide open platform with so many different possibilities. This game, Opus Magnum, is much more constrained in terms of what you can and cannot do in it. So the problem with user levels in Portal is that they're not nearly as polished as the stuff that Valve comes up with. Well, okay, that's really hard to do. But in this game, they're not going to be as tough, I think, or not as unpolished, because the game itself is so polished. So whatever. The point is, Opus Magnum, really awesome puzzle game. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is up there with like Myst and Eco and Portal in terms of like best puzzle games I've ever played, because it's so satisfying. It's so, user friendly, and just, the UI is awesome, and it feels like a game that wants you to do well, and then you feel smart for doing well. And as I've said, you go back to it. I just did one today. One of the ones from the first chapter. I was looking at it and I'm like, oh, I only gave this one go the first time I did. Let's see if I can do it smaller. And I did it smaller, and it was so satisfying to do it smaller. So it's a really good game. If anybody out there
learning, Duke. Learning.
Learning and applying.
I'm learning.
Well done.
So that's Opus Magnum. Should I talk about Fallout, or should I wait until after you say something?
No, I'm going to talk about something.
Yeah, you've talked now.
Yeah, I am. I'm not going to talk about Red Dead 2 because I haven't played any of that this week. I just haven't had the time to, sit down and play. I've only had like small pockets of time, so I was more into.
It's not a good game when you've only got half an hour, because
it's not worth it. It's just
all you do is go from one thing to the other and kill a deer, and that's it. That's half an hour gone.
Exactly. You just don't get shit done. You get nothing done.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still exploring the Oculus Go to see what's on there.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think, I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of getting to the limit of the good stuff, that's on there, which is a bad thing, really, because I've only had a couple of weeks. But that doesn't mean to say, and I mean it more from a game content point of view rather than other stuff. And I'll be honest, I think
it's shit.
No, I think it's really, really good. I'm
shit.
very impressed.
Duke, he's going to say it.
Really
he's going to say it's shit.
I'm not.
I'm very excited.
Shit, but
it's more geared towards sort of social experiences and, watching media and doing other stuff rather than for games. Although there are games on there that are good, it's not really made for games, if that kind of makes sense. It's not. It's really good. Yeah, so I'm still making my way through Augmented Empire, and I'm still really enjoying that game, I've
Augmented
gotta say.
Empire. It's kind of like XCOM, but it's not
It's kind of
XCOM.
like XCOM. But yeah, the cool thing about Augmented Empire is most of the missions are fairly short in stature. So as you play the game,
how long it takes to do them.
for an average mission, we're probably talking like 15, 20 minutes.
You meant short in time.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
short in time. So
stature.
you can. So if you've got a bit of time, but you've not got a lot of time, it's a really good game to just dip in, play a mission, and dip out again. You know what I mean? It's not. You don't have to, pay too much attention. It usually involves going somewhere, having a battle, and collecting something.
Stuart,
Yes.
you have talked about this game for the last 2 weeks. Tell me something
I
I
know.
don't know about the game. Go.
Oh God, that's a really good.
So it's turn-based
That's a
combat.
really good question. It's
Nope.
got turn-based combat.
Already knew that.
It's got different environments.
Already
It
knew
looks-
that.
BioShock.
I've just got a heavy character as part of my team. There you go.
Okay,
you didn't know
there
that.
we go. Yeah, didn't know that.
There you go. And he's pretty good. He has a big club. So he's a more up close and personal, but he's also really hard, so he takes a lot of damage.
Ooh.
So you can use him.
Oh.
So, but it's very much like Mass Effect, and I'm guessing XCOM in so much as you've got to choose who you take on your missions.
It's exactly like XCOM.
Yeah. So some are two players, like 2 team members, some are 3 team members, depending on which mission you're going on. So yeah, I've just done an arena fight. That was kind of fun.
Was
to,
it?
to get the heavy. Yeah, it was all right.
Was it
all right.
though?
Well,
Mhm.
yes and no, because it's not
The-
real time.
You
You-
push,
you know,
you
you-
push Duke, and you get the RL answers.
Yeah, because it's not real time. You're in an arena. It doesn't feel that visceral.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. And I'm getting quite good at it now, so the battles aren't that challenging. So I didn't find it difficult at all to beat the guys I was up against, especially when it's like this,
Yeah, the
like,
guys I was up against.
yeah, Italian mob boss going, kill them all. And I just kick their
Yeah.
asses. Yeah. Yeah, what are you doing? Kill
Yeah.
you.
Kill him,
I'm gonna
man.
kill you.
Kill him, see?
But yeah, that's about it. I'm not going to talk any more about it because I've said
Oh,
everything
please
pretty much.
talk more about this game.
No, but it's good if you've got a Go
Oh, and he
or a
does.
Gear VR because
Oh,
I
so
think
many
it works on
people
that as well.
surely do.
I know. I need to find someone who's got a Go that I can play Boggle with them.
Yeah.
Someone, if you've got an Oculus Rift or an Oculus Go, give me a shout because I want to try out Oculus Rooms and play some Boggle and stuff and listen to some music with someone. Play a bit of Boggle or a bit of like checkers or drafts as we call it in the UK. So yeah, play all them games. Yeah, so I've been playing that, and obviously it's Christmas time. It's around Christmas, and there's a free game called Merry Snowballs. I was like, why not? It's Christmas time. Why not play a free game? And it's got good reviews, so I'm like, well, it can't be that bad. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay. Is it now? Wait, you also said that Kiss for a Rose game was pretty good last Christmas.
I have
so-
not played that yet this Christmas. I am gonna
Well,
though.
don't, because it sucks.
No, you play it every
And
Christmas.
lets us
man.
know maybe what your Christmas standards are for games. A lot of
me-
Christmas suck.
It makes me know Christmas is coming.
Ah.
Yeah, play the Seal game. That's what you want to play.
Kiss
No,
from a rose.
But yes, basically, Merry Snowball is a little bit like Duck Hunt, but with kids and snowballs rather than a gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. So basically, you're chucking snowballs at kids outside a house.
Yeah.
And then some are faster, some like take more than one shot. So it's kind of that really, and you've just got to get the highest score possible.
This looks shit.
It's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. It is
Hurry up,
what
let it appear on the. Oh my God.
Oh my
it
god.
does. It
First of all, it
does.
looks stretched out. Like,
Yeah, but that's because someone's filming VR, so it doesn't look like that when you're playing it.
oh, thank God.
Obviously, because you're in the environment with all those
But it
kids.
looks like a free game that you'd get on Xbox Live.
That's pretty much what it is.
Oh,
It's a
Christ.
free game. I didn't
You
pay for
wouldn't play this
Well,
if it was
I mean,
on the
free
PC.
Not if you count the $700 you paid for the headset.
This is not $700. It was £169.
Stu, you wouldn't give this a fucking.
This is the fruit of that labor.
You wouldn't
this
give this
is-
a fucking minute if this was on
Look,
the
right,
PC.
I stuck
You
it,
just
right,
bum
I
it
How
because it's
long
on
did
the
you play this
fucking
for?
VR.
10 minutes.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
stuck,
That's
I
9
stuck
minutes
this.
too
Right,
long.
I stuck the headset on my brother-in-law because he came up this week, and he loved a bit of this. He was proper into it. I tell you now.
Yeah, your brother-in-law who doesn't play video games
He
very
was
often.
like, "This is amazing." No, he
It's
wasn't
like when
this.
people like the Marvel films because they're fucking idiots.
Some Marvel films are good. Black Panther's a good movie.
No, it's not.
Shut up! Damn! Y'all are just trolling me the last few weeks. Star Wars Episodes 6 and 7, 8 are bad movies. Black Panther's not good.
Black Panther's fine. It's not great.
hated
It's okay. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Fine.
Teeth look like crispy bacon.
Well,
fine.
my problem with Black Panther was the CGI fight on the train tracks looked awful.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. But Killmonger, man, Michael P. Jordan, he's awesome. I love
Yeah,
him.
Michael P. Jordan is cool, but you know, and he won, so that should be the end of the movie. He won. Do you know what I mean? He fair and square. Let's just wrap it up now.
Spoilers. Killmonger does not win. Black Panther.
Anyway, play Mary
Anyway.
Snowballs. It's great.
Right, Mary Snowballs.
I'll talk about one more game, and then we'll come back to you, Duke, and I'll talk about the last game.
Snowballs.
Snowballs.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the next game is kind of similar, I guess, in its mechanics,
Oh
etc.
my
It's
god!
called Mary Slush Balls.
It's another freebie called Dead and Buried.
It's just
but
it's
at least
just
this is-
trash, Stu. It's
It's
just
not as good.
it's fucking bollocks, man.
Anyway, this is more of a horde mode
Oh
game,
my! I like good horde mode on the VR. Oh my god!
but it's also a
How
multiplayer,
original.
so you can play multiplayer as well.
The
Oh
other
my
kind of games
god!
You can do on the VR.
It's
This- to
fucking
be fair,
dog
to
shit,
be-
Stu.
This is a little bit more polished.
I don't give a shit. It's the same fucking bollocks.
It does look exactly like the other game. You even
You
got a little line coming out of your gun.
VR
Yeah, well,
was meant to
that's
be this amazing thing that changed how we play games, and every fucking game that we play is where you stand still and shoot stuff. Wow.
Shit, man.
It's
Shoot
fucking
shit.
wank.
I don't know whether it's wank.
It's wank.
Well,
It's
the games you've
unoriginal.
shown us for
It's
this system
uninspired.
look, you went-
It's
hate to tell you
boring.
so.
Boring.
Yeah.
The
And
problem too is that we would need to have this like experience all around us in order for us to get the effect, and we can't.
which is true,
don't
and it does
know
look pretty
it
cool
is.
when you're actually in the game and you can see all
That's
these
fine,
things.
but I don't think I would enjoy playing this for more than 5 minutes, even if it is all surrounding me and that sort of thing. That's like
Yeah,
when Toy
no,
Story came
that's true.
out. They pointed out, look, when Toy Story came out, it was amazing because we had never had a 3D rendered movie before. But those graphics don't make your breath stand still for more than 15 minutes. You need a good story as well. And
Yeah,
fortunately,
that is true.
it has a good story. And it feels like these games, as amazing as it might be to be in the Old West, it's just like, I don't think the gameplay would be exciting.
Yeah, it's fine. Again, it does what it says on the
I'm
tin.
glad you're having fun with it.
Shoot shit. But yeah, these aren't. I'll be honest with you. The vast majority of the time I'm on the Oculus Go isn't taken up playing games really. And I will talk a little bit about that before we move on to your other game. The vast majority of things I'm doing is there's an app called Gala 360.
Okay.
Which uses user-generated content and stuff that they put on there, but it's basically 3D 360 pictures and tours of cities and stuff around the world, and they're really well done. So you get local people doing like the narration of what what you're looking at and the history of it and all that kind of. So it's very educational. But there's all sorts of stuff on there. Like I went for a tour of Alcatraz, which was super cool, and it was like they gave you all the sort of information about Alcatraz, how many people had tried to escape, the one person who they thought who did it, but they still think they died in the sea, even though they never recovered the body and all that sort of stuff. And it was really, really cool. So you can do that, like Kennedy Space Center. What else was on there? There's all sorts of crazy stuff on there. But some of the best ones, there's one like in Rome, which obviously gives you loads of like interesting stuff about Rome. but it's in full 3D and 360. So it is almost like you stood there, which is just really surreal. Like,
Yeah.
super, super surreal. And because it's user generated, like, there's one for Hay Hall, which is about 5 miles down the road from where I live.
Well, I think you need to make a video where you compare what you see in the headset with what actually appears when you go there.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally realistic. Especially if you stand up and do it, because you can just turn around and look at everything. But it is in full 3D and 360, so it's completely surrounding you.
What is this
And it
fishing
is-
rod dude's got sticking out of his...
That's basically your pointer. So when you hold the controller, it points wherever you're pointing it.
So distracting.
Yeah, but you don't have to have that pointing. He's just holding it that way. So if you hold it down, it doesn't point on the it's not even you can't even say it's a screen.
Okay.
Because it is literally like you stood there, which is
Yeah.
just super, super weird.
Fair enough.
So that works. I love Gala 360. There's not a whole ton of content on there, but there's a lot of stuff on it. And I'm still exploring it and just finding just really cool places to visit. You know, like there's like the Yorkshire Dales in 3D, and I've been, you know, the places that are on there I've been to, and it's weird standing there because obviously I've been here. Very, very surreal, like I say. And there's like one of Edinburgh, you know, and all the different sort of stuff at Edinburgh, all the landmarks and
Are there
places
no
there.
tourists everywhere that you can't get around? Because if not, it's not actually like Edinburgh.
Yeah, yeah, no, there was so what they seem to do is try and take a lot of these pictures when it's either at night time or when it's a little bit quieter. So obviously the streets are fairly empty.
Yeah.
But it's just super, super cool. So Gala 360 is excellent. Wonder, continue to use Wonder. I love that, which is just basically Google Street View, but in 360 in your headset. And again, you can, you know, obviously with Google, you can go pretty much anywhere in the world that you want to go and see.
Yeah.
Which again is super, super cool. There's some I found like loads of cool places like the Great Barrier Reef. You can go and sort of go underwater and have a look there.
Yeah.
It's just so, so cool. So yeah, and I think that's what this is really made for. You know, stuff like this rather than the sort of game stuff. It's more for this because the resolution's so good. It just looks great. Really, really, really good. So yeah. Totally recommend it. If you've got an inkling to get into VR, I think this is a really good entry point for it. You know, not necessarily for gaming, but if you just want to try something, you know, you want to try VR, it's not a huge outlay. You know, to get it, and it's one of the best sort of resolutions that you can get at the moment, apart from the Vive Pro. So it looks really, really good. And I'll move back to you anyway. You tell us some more about what you've been doing.
Okay, so there's this expansion called Nuka World, and I've been playing it for Fallout 4. And I've been shooting Mirelurks because you go to the different parts of Nuka World, the themed areas, and I'm doing them in the reverse order I did them the first time. How about that? Yeah, there's this Kitty Kingdom, which is bumper cars and a Ferris wheel and everything. And you don't get to go on the actual rides. They're all broken down and destroyed. But you get to, what do? You know what I just realized? There is a mission later on where you put the power back on to Nuka World. I wonder if when I put the power back on, if I'll be able to go on the Ferris wheel or whatever. Huh. I never thought about that. Something else to look forward to for the future. Go figure. Anyway, yeah, so when you go to the Kitty Kingdom, there's all these ghouls, and then you meet up with the Uber ghoul, the head boss ghoul, and he's like, you humans, you need to leave us alone, blah, blah, blah. And there's a way to solve it without violence, I guess, but I didn't bother doing that. Even though I think my speech is up to 100. I'm pretty sure I could convince anybody of anything. It's just that I don't want to, so I didn't. I killed him. Ha! Take that. And he has this cool suit, but it's not very protective, so I didn't keep it on. And you can't wear armor with it. There are some pieces of armor you can wear with other armor, but that suit I couldn't wear with other armor. So screw that. I'll put the Minuteman General's uniform on again. And then I went to the bottling facility where you have to clear it out of Mirelurks, but they're Nuka Lurks. So they're all sucking down the Nuka
Like blue.
Cola Quantum. Yeah, they're like light blue.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, and then you fight a Mirelurk Queen, which is huge, and it took forever to defeat it, but I did. Hooray for me! And so that's that. And now I'm back in the place with the there's this like caveman who's like, Quinto, friend, you friend Quinto, me help you defeat wrinkly man monsters, whatever. So I'm doing that now, and then I will go and do the space world, or the whatever it is, the world of tomorrow, the future world, and that's where I'm going to get the space suits, because there's this mission I didn't do last time where there's this cult who wants to take a ride in a spaceship like you do in New Vegas. I'm curious to see how the story goes differently in this one compared to that one.
Is it good then, Nuclear World? Like,
Yeah, it is good. I mean,
no desire to go back to Fallout 4 at all.
Yeah, I mean, Nuka World, I think, is a good, solid expansion. I think you don't like it especially, Chinny, because I can see you wanting to work with one of these raider groups, and I'm not that way.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do these, areas of the world, get the spacesuits for the cult, and then see what happens when you turn the power back on, and then wipe out all the raiders like I did last time.
Nice.
There you
So,
go.
yeah, that's Nuka World.
So any inkling for Fallout 76? Apparently they're slowly improving it, from what I can gather.
Yeah. I am curious to play it. I actually, there was a thread on, I think, Reddit Girl Gamers, maybe, where people were talking about how much they like it. And I was like, this is the first time I've ever heard anybody talk about liking it. So, I'm curious, but I'm not, like, dying.
Well, they've got about, what, seven patches,
the most likely scenario is when I get my PS4 to play Red Dead 2, maybe I'll go to the Red Box, rent it for a day, give it a whirl that way, because that's the cheapest way for me to do it, right?
It's probably the best way to do it as well, to be honest.
Probably. Although it's going to be weird to be gaming on a console again, sitting in my chair, because I haven't done that in a long time.
Right.
Long time.
Long time.
Long time since I played on a console.
There you
Anyway,
go.
that's Fallout 4 for me. Done.
Yeah, Bethesda, they've not had a good year, have they? If we're being totally honest.
Yeah, well, you know what? Everybody's going to make some mistakes. What are you going to do?
Yeah, but that many mistakes with one game is not a good thing to do, is it?
Well, it's
let's
the
be
nature of the
totally
beast. You
honest.
go for an MMO, you're going to release a crummy game. MMOs are just not great by their nature, are they?
Yeah, no, I just think it's a
That's
bit crap in general,
That's
isn't it?
crazy, because I've played a lot of MMOs, so, like, look at me talk.
Yeah, look at you MMO.
I'm
I
not a
don't know.
fanboy. I don't love them.
Fanboy, yeah, fanboy. There you
It's
go. That's the word I was looking for.
not. That's the thing. I'm not.
No, you play a lot of them.
to be
I think your problem is, dude, with MMOs. You're looking for that elusive MMO that you're never gonna find that you actually like.
I've stopped looking. Like, it's been a long time since I went to an MMO. Like, I found a good community in Guild Wars 2. It's just that I realized, like, that's not actually what I want. Or maybe it's just not, the community wasn't as good as I thought it was, or
No,
something.
you just don't like the game.
I just don't like the games that
You
much.
just don't like the game.
Diablo 3, I think, is what I'm really looking for. It was like a, Torchlight 2. Those are my kinds of games.
So anyway, there is
Anyway.
I've been playing a proper game on the Oculus
Yeah.
Go.
Oh
Tell
god,
us
you
about it.
almost got me happy then, and then you said I've been playing a proper game on the Oculus Go.
Which is Defense Grid 2.
Yeah,
Oh my god! Chinny, you can't dislike this.
I can.
Oh my god, no, you can't.
I can.
Why can't you? You
Don't
can't.
call me
You
a
can't
can't.
dislike this. You can't
Well, you can.
dislike
Why not
this
just
game.
play it? Why do you got to play it on the VR?
I don't know, because it was half price at $2.99, which is probably cheaper than it is on Steam.
Great. Let me play this like whack-ass resolution version of Defense Grid 2.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
but you can move all around it, Chinny.
You can't. No, you can't actually. It's very similar
I'm trying to help you out
very
here.
similar
You
to
dingus.
Augmented Empire in the way that it works. So it is very similar. So it's more like an isometric sort of view from above.
Ridiculous.
But do you know what? Do you know what's really cool though?
Do you know what? It's really cool.
What's
what?
really cool, Stu?
See, it's 10. Well, when it was $2.99, and it's $10.99 on Steam.
Price
so
doesn't
it's
matter.
cheap.
Don't
That's
care.
the really cool thing
So
about it.
cheap is good.
No,
Cheap is good. But
wrong.
what's also cool?
Cheap
Get it
is
on
usually
sale.
bad.
Defense 2 would be like $2 on sale. Go on. What's really good about it?
What's really good is that you can see everything from above, right?
Oh my god.
I know,
Which
it's
is
good,
completely different from the regular Defense
It
Grid.
is.
No,
And
it's not.
you
It's hard
can-
to control, I'll bet, too.
No, it's dead easy to control. It works really, really quickly. To build towers and stuff is really, really fast. I've never played. I only ever played the demo of the original Defense Grid.
Wow,
So
you missed out.
I know. Other than that, I never played it. What I really like about it is how quick you can build towers, and I like the way that you can reroute the enemies and stuff like that by depending where you place your towers. And then you put the things underneath. I don't know what they're called, like the boosters, and then you can build towers on top of your boosters, and then you can make them more powerful. Oh, it's really good.
So far, you just like the game, not because it's on VR.
It is cool.
All around it from above.
It is cool feeling like a god, feeling like you're floating above this whole map.
Which is very different from the regular way you play Defense Grid 2 because...
Correct.
No, it just gives you...
Normally you're looking at it from underneath the map.
No, it just gives you another perspective.
It looks exactly the same, but worse.
Exact same perspective.
It doesn't look...
It's just you can tilt your head.
Yeah, and it was cheap. Did I mention it was cheap?
Cheap isn't good. Why do you think cheap is good?
Because it's a good game. That was
when
cheap.
when something costs some sort of money, that's an indication of quality, surely.
And you're making sure that it gets to the developers. How much do the
Not
developers
necessarily
because purchase? They're getting 1 cent.
They wanted 60 quid for Fallout 76, and that game sucks.
Well,
but it would get to the developers.
I'm not a defender of that game, but I'm just saying.
See, like expensive doesn't mean good.
You said that cheap means good.
Yeah, you have to pay for it.
Well, it does if it's a good game and it was cheap.
Oh, so now there's conditions. Didn't have the conditions before.
Yeah. But it's a good game, by the
way. It is a good
really
game.
I know. It is a good game.
I played it 5 years ago.
I know. I know.
I've got to play something. It's right there on my list of games that I own, but I haven't installed
played Defense Grid 1 twice. I think played Defense Grid 2 once.
Yeah, I think I've played the first one a couple times too. It's a good game.
And then you have the GLaDOS add-on.
Yeah, I played that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good, really good. So yeah, I'm gonna play a whole lot more of this because I'm really enjoying it. And so far, I've had all clear levels, and I've only done about 5 or 6. But it's a lot of fun. And I'm getting into it. I'm like, I need to put this tower here because that works better there, and put 2 fire breathing ones or whatever, blowtorch things, and like across from each other, and burn everything, set it on fire. Then some like rapid shots, like beyond that, so they finish them.
Fire.
So yeah, it's good. A lot of strategy involved, isn't it? A lot of thinking.
Yeah.
Where you need to put stuff. But yeah, I like it. And I know in VR it don't make any difference. And it doesn't.
No.
But it's just cool, man. It's cool looking down like some sort of god.
You've obviously got some sort of god complex.
I have. I like the fact that I like looking down, controlling stuff. That's me. So yeah, the more I can control, the better. Yeah, so there you go. Oculus Go is pretty good. It's pretty good. Right. Any more games anyone wants to talk about, or anything that we haven't mentioned, or whatever?
Red Dead Redemption 2 is very, very good, I have to say.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I need to finish that. I'm off this week, so I've got a couple of days off during the week, so I'm gonna have to really get stuck in.
Where are you in the story without spoiling it too much?
I can't even remember. I can't remember. That's how bad I am.
What chapter are you on?
4.
Okay.
I'm on chapter 4.
4, yeah.
I can't even remember the last thing that happened. That's how long ago it is since I played it.
You'll get back into it.
I know. Oh no, I don't fear I'll get back. It's just like I said earlier. It's just having the time that you need to play.
Just remember my warning. When it's done, there's still like 6 hours
it ain't
left.
Done. It's another 6 frigging hours.
Yeah.
Talking of time played, by the way, Sony have done this cool thing where they've given like a rundown of your top 3 most played games. Have you heard about this?
No.
So Sony basically, if you log into this thing online, it basically makes up this little video of your most played games, how long you've played altogether on your PS4 since you bought it, the first game you played on it.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff, which I thought was pretty cool.
Do you have? Do you know what it's called?
I can't remember now. I think it's something like just like PS4 Stories or something weird like that. It's got some weird thing it's called. But basically, it just gives you a rundown. So, what do you think my most played game on the PS4 is?
God of War.
No. Come on, think about it. It's fairly sort of obvious.
To you.
No, it would be to you if you thought about it.
I am thinking about it. It's obviously not obvious, or I would have come up with it.
It's obvious. What is one of my favorite
Don't
games?
do that, dude. God, I hate it when people do that. It's like when I used to be in math classes and the teacher would be like, "This is an easy problem." Okay, if it's easy to you, great. If I don't get it, the only thing you do by saying it's easy is make me feel stupid.
But we had an argument about whether this game that I've played the most on my console is better than the game that you like the best. And Chinny had
We
to
argue
decide.
about a lot of games like that. That didn't help me.
Oh, right. I know what it is.
Go ahead. What is it?
It's The Witcher 3.
The Witcher 3, of course. What else would it be?
Okay. Well, I don't know.
But anyway, needless to say,
Oh, you play a lot of The Witcher 3. Okay.
134 hours of that.
That's it? 134
Yeah.
hours?
Yeah.
You call yourself addicted? Whatever.
I didn't say I was addicted. I just said I liked the game a lot. 134 hours is
1,000 hours is liking a game. 100 hours.
And
you have life.
I was kind of shocked at my second most played game on the PS4.
The Witcher 2?
No, it turned out to be Dragon Age Iquique.
Ooh, how about that?
Yeah, 61 hours of that apparently.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, what the what? And then
what
my third most played game, I was even more shocked at.
What a word.
Which was Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Oh my god!
And I never even finished that game, but apparently they played 32 hours of it. And I'm like, I don't remember. I can't see that being right because I played loads of Persona 5, even though I never finished it. I'm sure I played more than 30 hours of that game, but maybe I didn't.
Is it telling you played on Persona 5?
It doesn't. It only gives you top 3, so it doesn't tell you any of your other games. And some of the Yakuza games I played loads of. So I was just like, oh, maybe they're shorter than I think. So there you go. So that was that.
I've played 4 days and 11 hours of Red Dead 2.
What, in real time, like as in 24 hours? 4
Yeah.
days? Wow, that's a lot. So you just found that out by looking at your thing?
On my Xbox, yeah.
4 days. Jesus Christ.
4 days, 11 hours, 38 minutes.
That is just ridiculous. So that's literally about 100 hours, isn't it? Or just over?
I don't know.
Just over 100 hours. Well, it's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah, I know that bit, you bellend.
Bell. So that's 92 hours plus 11. Yeah, 103 hours.
96. 24 times 4 is 96.
Yeah, sorry, a bit more in it. Yeah,
Plus 11.
It's
107.
107 hours. Yeah, it's a lot of hours. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
So is that how much I've got to play to finish that game?
No, I reckon the story's probably about 40, 50 hours.
That's still a long time, isn't it? To
Oh,
play
yeah.
a game.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Jesus Christ.
There's a lot.
And I've still got to finish God of War, man. I've still got to go
I
back
know.
to that and get that game
I haven't finished God of War. That's really bad.
Oh, so bad.
Yeah. Anyway, are we done talking about this? Are we on to the news?
There isn't any. The news this week was so slim.
No news.
Yeah.
No news.
Topics?
No.
No topics.
No topics.
Do we have emails?
No.
Are you serious?
Serious? No emails this week, no.
Oh, wow.
What the hell?
We're done,
What the
people.
hell?
Good night.
So, that being said, I think we should do our sort of flashback to the year that was and have a look at some games that we played back in the day.
Here we are in 1992. Nobody calls me Duke yet, but I'm little Eric. Oh, I do enjoy this Myst game. No, wait, that hasn't come out yet. It comes out next year. I love Pool of Radiance. That's a great role-playing game.
Okay.
So, we're up to 2009.
2009.
Okay.
2009, because we did 2008 last time.
But first of all, where were we in 2009? What was going on in our lives?
Jesus Christ, that's a good question. How old was I? I don't know. That's like 9 years ago. I wasn't even 40 at that point.
I had been teaching at the school where I now teach for 6 years at that point.
I was in my first year / second year of university.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was just working as normal.
Working.
I had not put out the book.
working.
Not put out my. What was I doing around that time? I don't even know what I was doing around that time.
We was podcasting.
Oh yeah, we was doing that.
That's right.
Right.
Oh, snap. It's the year Dragon Age Origins came out. Game of the year.
Game of the year. Right, well, let's go through some of the games we played that year.
Dragon Age Origins.
Early in the year, Mirror's Edge came out.
Yeah.
Or was that the Windows version? I don't know.
No, Mirror's Edge came out in 2008, so shut up.
Forget it. That's already been out. So ignore that, because that's already out. I do remember the Lord of the Rings Conquest game, because I played the demo of that, if I remember right, and it was a bit shit.
I played the demo of that, and then I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
I mean, up until, like, the
August.
sort of...
August, something came out that was very, very big.
Yeah, well, we've not got that far yet. Just so hold your horses.
Fuck off. I'm going to just say it to piss you off.
We have to go to chronological order, Chinny.
Batman.
Yeah, what came out in August then?
Batman Arkham Asylum.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it was a game changer.
Dragon Age Origins.
This was at a time where superhero games and licensed games were terrible. And every time they come out, they was always awful. And nobody had their eye on Batman. Everybody was like, I don't know, it looks okay, I guess. And then slowly, as the previews came out, people were saying, this looks okay. This is all right. And then it came out, and it blew everyone away.
It's freaking
Batman
amazing.
It was. It's a strong year, 2009, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm just sort of glancing through now what else came out that year, and it is
well,
pretty
the other
good.
the other big game was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out.
Yeah.
So that took up a lot of hours for everybody, really. And Uncharted 2, Stuart.
Oh, I love that game. Can we just quickly go back to Batman Arkham Asylum? And you're saying everyone was watching, it was a bit like, I think part of that though was the fact that this was only the second game they'd ever made.
Yeah.
Rocksteady, and prior to that, it was a PlayStation 2 game.
Yeah,
in 2006.
It was like a Riot Police game, if I remember.
So no one was really watching this because they were all like, "Who are Rocksteady, man? What are they? What have they done?"
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I remember the
Chaos.
first.
I played Urban Chaos. That was a good game.
Was it good?
Riot Response. I mean, it was a first-person shooter. It wasn't amazing. It was the best thing about it was its multiplayer online, which was decent, not amazing, but it was decent.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a PS2, so I didn't really play a lot on that.
Nope.
And Chitty's much the same, so he didn't either.
The whole PlayStation ting passed me by.
I think what amazed me the most about Batman was how well they did all the sort of, obviously the combat was a massive thing. You know, the way everything linked together, which was similar to some respects to Assassin's Creed. You know, it had some sort of similarities to that sort of combat, but they just completely, sort of expanded, I guess, what you were able to do. And one of my favorite things in a especially Asylum, and you couldn't really get away with it in the later games, but in the original game was just sort of swinging from thing to thing above and just picking people off.
You could do that in the later games.
You could, but they seem to spot you more easily, I always thought, and you sort of didn't get away with it as easily. So it became more of a challenge, whereas I think in Asylum it was a bit easier to do. And the response to the enemies sort of getting scared and like, what's going on? Where'd he go? You know, all that kind of stuff. I used to love it. Sort of clearing rooms literally by just doing that.
Yeah.
The only negative for me with Asylum was the final boss fight was just terrible. You remember this?
Oh yeah, the Joker on roids, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah. Oh.
But I didn't think it was terrible. I just thought it was kind of dumb. It just felt a little unrealistic, but it didn't annoy me. Really.
No, but I think it jarred with because the rest of the game had been so good and the story was really interesting and the combat and all that, and then it all boiled down to this just stupid boss fight. But I think at that point, I think developers were still on this sort of you have to have a final boss fight in a game.
Yeah.
You know, it has to happen. You got to have one. You know, BioShock suffered from the same thing, didn't it? Because the last boss fight in BioShock was terrible.
And this leads to the question that I've often thought about and probably complained about a lot. You know, Bethesda's boss fights, well, okay, so Alduin does suffer from the worst of it. In a lot of games, they make it so that your final boss fight, you can't just kill the person or the enemy the way you would normally kill a person. Like, I was just thinking about the boss fights in Nuka World are just, they're bullet sponges. It just takes a lot of bullets to kill them. But with Alduin in Skyrim, you have to, clear the fog away, and you have to get everybody to do the different attacks that they're doing. I think the best boss fights they're just harder to kill. But you don't have to go through some special, and that was the problem with BioShock. You had to go through this special series of things in order to take the guy down, and it was very difficult. Yeah. I don't like those kinds of boss fights.
Yeah, and a lot of games these days don't even have a final boss fight, do they?
Which is fine.
The problem with the bosses in Batman was there was all the same trick. It was like, move out of the way, he smashes into the wall, he gets dizzy, and you jump on him, and that was so they figured out a way to get let's get the Joker big, so he runs and stuff.
That's funny, by the way. In the beginning of Nuka World, actually, when you first go through this thing called the Gauntlet, you get to a guy at the end, and the way you defeat him, I don't want to give spoilers if anybody hasn't played Nuka World, it's very different from what you would expect to do. Because you go into this room with all these different weapons in it, and you have to pick one, or you can pick a bunch of them if you can carry them. But it's not the weapon you would think that you should get to go into that final fight. So I just thought that was pretty clever when they did that.
Yeah. So yeah, Batman was great. I think we can all agree. You did play this, didn't you, Duke?
I did. I liked the first one. I got into the second one a little bit, but I got into it late, and by that time there were so many other things I wanted to play as well that I don't know, for whatever reason, I didn't keep going with it.
Well, it was a big year, wasn't it? And like 2009, there's a lot of good games came out, as we've already said. Because as we know, in Feb, Fear 2 came out.
Oh snap! That's my favorite horror game ever.
There you go.
Great game.
Project Origin. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I've obviously played and finished this. The original Fear I couldn't get to the end of.
Yeah.
But this one, no such problems, and it was a lot of fun.
And as I've said before, I wrote a thing about it on our website. You spend a lot of the game creeping through areas. It's really kind of nerve-wracking, and you don't have a lot of power. And then at one point you get into this mech, and it's just mowing people down. So satisfying.
Yeah. Skate 2, did you play that, Chinny?
No, I wasn't really into
I played it. I remember playing the demo.
Yeah, I think I did too.
Yeah, there were pretty good games of the time, when Tony Hawk's had gone to shit and Skate came along and was like, oh yeah, let's do this twin analog stick thing to do tricks.
People liked it. I could never get the hang of it. So.
No, me neither. Simpsons Skateboarding is the best skateboarding game ever made.
Simpsons Skateboarding, Jesus Christ Almighty. Right, let's carry on. What else came out? Oh, Street Fighter 4 for the PS3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah, love that. It was like a return to the old format, because like they've sort of been gone away from Street Fighter 2. Everybody loves Street Fighter 2 basically, and this was. It was pretty much a Street Fighter 2 remake with some extra characters in it. It was good. I think this sort of has something to do with like the comeback of fighting games in a way, because they were gone for a long time.
What did it do to re-spark that?
I think like the fighting community too was still competing and fighting and stuff, but Street Fighter 4 brought people back that might have gone away from it a little bit, and basically these fighting games aren't going anywhere really. It's a genre that's going to stay around, and I think
it's funny because I was hardcore into Street Fighter 2, but I never tried Street Fighter 4. I should really give it a try.
4's great. Yeah, 4's really good. It just plays since fighting games went to 3D. I feel like Street Fighter didn't really know what to do with it. It struggled with it a lot, and I think Street Fighter 4 was the first time it just went, okay, we're going to make all our characters and our models and our environments 3D, but it's going to play like a 2D game because that's the best way to play. So that's what.
And the thing with Street Fighter 2 was that you had to learn all the special moves. Is it hard to learn the special moves in this? Is there some sort of tutorial that teaches you to them?
Oh yeah, there's excellent training room
Okay.
in the menu. So, and it even gives you all the inputs of your
Gotcha.
what you press in and stuff. So
Yeah. Because I mean, when I was a kid, I was willing to spend time to research that shit. But now I'm like, I don't have time for that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's great. Street Fighter 4's brilliant. Loved it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nobody got time for that.
One of the weirdest games I've ever played possibly came out this year,
What's that?
which was Nobi Nobi Boy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the one from the Katamari people, right?
Oh, so weird. It's just the
Yeah.
weirdest game. And the aim object of the game was to stretch Nobi Nobi Boy as far as you could.
Yeah.
And the to finish the game, you had to get to the sun, so you had to stretch him long enough to reach the sun.
Right.
So there you go. And it got finished. It took something like 3,000 days or something for someone to finally reach the sun.
How about that?
It's just ridiculous. But one of my favorite games of all time came out this year, also on the
what's
PS3.
that?
Flower,
Eh,
of course. You
Eh.
don't need to say that. It was so
Yeah, I do.
amazing.
it was okay.
I said,
I'll give it its due. Look, yes, Flower was interesting because at a time when we were getting Dragon Age with the blood all over you and Call of Duty was hitting its stride at this time and all this other stuff, Flower said there's something to be said for games that are different, that are peaceful and in fact relaxing. And I agree with that. The problem for me is that Flower didn't really have a whole lot of game in it. It was just, wander around, go through the field, light up all the flowers, and that's it. And
there's fun and relaxing.
I want more from a game that's relaxing than just floating through the air. That's me.
I guess.
Flower was the game that because this era was when the weird and shit stuff started to come out, and this genre of indie games that were weird and not quite shooty. Flower was the game that made me decide that I do not like this stupid shit.
Flower was it, right? Stupid shit, you can go and fuck off.
Yeah. I played it. I played the whole thing. And I just remember thinking, that was fucking boring.
Well, it's the best game. One of my favourite games ever. So shut up. Grand Theft Auto, The Lost and the Damned came out in Feb this year.
I really want to play them all again. But yeah, Lost and Damned was a good one. I don't remember Lost and Damned as much as GTA 4 or The Ballad of Gay Tony. I know that Bill Burr is in it. And that's about. I roughly remember the story, but yeah, I don't remember it as well. There was some kind of riding together mechanic.
There was. I stopped playing it when I got to a point where I had to do a mission where I had to hijack these vans, and I kept failing over and over again. And in the end, I went, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I did like it. I just wasn't sort of didn't stick with me as much as Ballad of Gay Tony, and I think GTA 4 I've played 3 times, so I will play it again at some point and give it another go.
I can't believe how many games you love came out this year, Chinny.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because it also in Feb we had 50 Cent Blood on the Sand.
Yeah, what a great game!
That?
Fantastic game.
It was so underrated.
I played this with my brother. So, but this was the era of everybody was copying Gears of War, sort of stuff, and it was a Gears of War knockoff, and the plot was
brilliant.
The 50 Fiddy, good old Fiddy, he's in the old Middle East, and he's doing a gig for this guy, and he says, I haven't got any money, so I'm going to pay you in a crystal skull. And Fiddy gets angry because he doesn't get his crystal skull payment. So then he shoots up the whole of Iraq. That's pretty much it. Yeah. It's great. It's a great game. It's not backwards compatible. I've looked. It should be. It's brilliant.
Do you know what's interesting? They made another game I've never heard of called Get Ahead, whatever the hell that was. After it, and that's it. After 2010, that's the last thing they made.
Well, the developer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Swordfish Studios, they were called. I'm guessing they probably got absorbed by someone else, but they were based in Birmingham in the UK.
Oh, bless them.
Oh, bless them. And they did Brian Lara Cricket 2005 prior.
I played some Brian Lara.
So there you go. But yeah, blood on this, Sam. But then Chinny, another game you love came out.
Go on.
Yet another game, Halo Wars, came out in Feb.
Yeah. Halo Wars.
Yes, on the console. No, everyone said you couldn't do it.
Yeah. It's it's a funny game, Halo Wars, because when it came out, I liked it. I played it. I remember it, and then I moved on. Do you know what I mean? I played all the campaign, and then I moved on. And it was about 2-3 years later that Matt. See, when Halo Wars came out, I never even met Matt, or maybe I did meet Matt, but I didn't have a business with him or anything. And then one day he said, "Is there a game like Command and Conquer on the 360?" And I said, "Oh, there's Halo Wars," and that was it. So I never really got into the multiplayer until I tried it with Matt.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
History.
2009 was a good year.
Yes,
I can't believe how many great games came out, because in March we had Peggle.
Yeah, Peggle.
Oh my god, I love Peggle.
Yeah. We really swept through the community too. Everyone was playing it.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Peggle. What are you doing? What's that?
He's singing the alma mater of my high school.
Yeah. Is that the wrong tune? I don't know.
And for always we will honor Buchholz High. Friends we cherish till we perish. Sing her praises to the sky. Black and gold still leading onward to the goals we strive to win. This is where we live for learning. This is where we all begin.
There you go.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Appreciate that. So yeah, Peggle was amazing. I love that game. And can I just say, it's the only game that my wife has played and finished every single level and unlocked pretty much all the trophies on the PS3.
Good job, Kay. Well done, you.
Yeah. She just played and played and played that game.
Yep.
Yeah, she loved Peggle.
Well done game, and it was, it didn't require crazy reflexes. It was just
it's quite relaxing in a way, isn't it? It's quite a relaxing game.
It was also very satisfying when you get it right.
Plinko from The Price is Right, wasn't it, basically?
Exactly.
There you go. Resident Evil 5 came out, and Chinny and I played this together.
I remember that was one of the first things I remember talking about, how rock it was.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it, didn't we? I remember we doing the final boss together. I remember doing that, weirdly.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It was a decent game.
It was. Oh my god, there's so many good games.
People like hated it a lot, Resident Evil 5, but I didn't mind it so much.
No, I quite enjoyed it. It did still have the stop and shoot mechanics, didn't it? You couldn't move and shoot, could you?
No, but it was.
Could you?
No, you couldn't move and shoot. No.
Yeah.
It was all right though.
Yeah, it worked. It was one of those games that I found that initially you were like, what the hell? Why can't I walk while I'm shooting? But then once you got your head around it, it was sort of fine. But those freaking chainsaw enemies were horrific. That would come at you. Like out of nowhere, these giant chainsaws attacking you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so good though. Such a good
Remember
game.
the controversy about this game?
I don't know whether I do, to be honest. What was it?
When the trailer came out, it got accused of being racist.
Did it?
Yeah.
Do you know? I don't even remember.
So what they did was they changed a lot of the enemies to have paler skin, so it was more of a mix. Even though it's in Africa. Very strange.
That's funny. That is funny. And it is a game that your wife played, Duke.
My wife. Who's
your
that?
Wife. Wallace and Gromit's Grand Adventure.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yay, Wallace and Gromit. And that was Telltale, wasn't it?
Yep.
was, and I remember you doing little interviews with her about what she thought about the game.
That's right.
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid.
I like
I'll be
these Wallace and
honest.
Gromit games. They were good.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun.
I'll be honest, I don't remember that being.
Spot
It
there.
doesn't feel like 8 years ago. It's
Well,
like, Jesus Christ, where does time go?
it's going to be a running theme with this.
Wait, 9 years ago?
I know, yeah. Well,
With-
9 years ago, even. Yeah, 9 years ago. What am I talking about?
There's a reason I'm a math teacher.
There is.
just
This
to
is
let you
also the
know
year Hawks came out. That game, a lot of people got into that. I never played it much.
what
Hawks.
Hawks. Oh yeah,
Hawks. Hawks.
I remember a lot of people talking about Hawks.
Yeah. Hawks.
Hawks.
Hawks. Hawks. What else came out this year? I'm just sort of looking down. There's so many games came out this year. You just
It's a
sort of-
running theme, Stu. That every game you select is going to be like
Yeah.
it's going to feel like a long time ago, but not at the same
Infamous.
time.
Infamous came out this year.
Yes, classic. That was a good game. I really liked the ending of that. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, you played.
Oh,
loads of
Hannah
that.
Montana, the movie, the game came out.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I never played Infamous 2 or Second Son.
Yeah, Second Son was pretty good actually.
I
I
liked
quite
two.
like Second Son.
That was a game that had the great little moment where they're sharing a beer on the roof. I really liked that.
Yeah. Prototype, do you remember that?
Yes.
I
These two
fucking
games
hated-
very similar, came out at the
Yeah,
same-
I wasn't a
Fucking
big fan
hated
of
Prototype. Prototype is one of the very few games that I never finished.
Yeah, I
fucking-
wasn't a big fan.
It was all like I've never played a game so much that I've gone, you know what, I can barely play this. Like it feels unplayable to me. I just fucking
You see,
hated it so
there seemed
much.
to be a lot of games at the time that were, you know, it was when they first started introducing a lot of these open world games where you could run around and do stupid shit.
Open
and
world
this
games
was-
exploded in the PS2 era, not really like it was
Yes.
Prototype and Infamous were notoriously like very very similar for some reason.
Yep.
And Prototype was the big Activision version. But yeah, I fucking hated it. Like I couldn't play it. Like it wasn't a case of like I'll grin and bear it. I'll play it and get through it. It was I cannot fucking get on with it. I can't control it. I hated it so much. Very
It
weird.
didn't get terrible reviews either. It wasn't
No, I
like
know.
it was a badly reviewed game or anything. Or like, oh, this game's a bit shit.
I couldn't get on with it. I just couldn't do it. I was like, you know what? Forget it. I just very rare that I've put a game down out of frustration, and it was one of. But this came from the developer of the Incredible Hulk game, and basically just made it again, but with this.
With this guy instead of the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ghostbusters came out as well. Ghostbusters, which was the actual like official sequel to the movie or something. It was classed as, wasn't it? If you remember.
tie-in.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. That was
I liked it. There was some janky bits. It was a bit jank, wasn't it?
It was good though.
It was good. I enjoyed it. I finished it.
Yeah, I finished it. I thought it was like unusually polished for what it was. Do you know what I mean?
For
Like
a movie tie-in
you
game,
never
it
get
wasn't
that
bad.
now, but like it was just such a bizarre project because to do a sequel to an 80s early 90s movie,
Yeah.
you know, it's very very strange. But I think this was probably a result of like they wasn't really making the movie, so they made it into a game and then they made the movie.
Yeah. The Conduit on the Wii, I played that.
Of course you did.
I played a lot of Wii games because Thingy came out this year.
You
as
know
well,
why? Because
House
it
of the
was
Dead Overkill.
It was
weird as shit.
weird and shiny and different, and you wanted to be, and you was
That was
convinced.
something different.
It's got-
It was. Do you know what?
You know
The
what? This has
Conduit
got to
was
be the future of
alright.
shooters.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but it was all right. It was playable.
Playable. Wow.
It was playable. That's about the
Well,
best.
if it's all the same to you,
you,
Stu, I would rather tell our listeners about games that are a little bit more unplayable. Thank you very much.
A bit more playable. Call of Juarez, Bound in Blood.
Yeah, I got into the Call of Juarez games.
Yeah, good.
I played them all, even the I didn't play the last one, but the third one was, I think it was the Cartel or something.
Yeah, that was terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a bad one. But Bound in Blood was a decent one, I remember. I don't know if it holds up
Bound
now.
in Blood, I think, was the best of the three, wasn't it? Of the Juarez
There
games?
was another Call of Juarez game after the third one, and it was a
Gunslinger.
yeah, it was like a 360 Xbox Live Arcade game. I never played it, but it was all cell shaded and stuff. Oh yeah, I just remembered. Yeah, Call of Juarez had a Civil War in it as well. Like it had a Civil War scene because that's where the characters came from.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a bit where you're moving up a field, aren't you? Like a battlefield in some respect, if I remember rightly.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was good. I liked Bound in Blood. It was a good game.
It was all right.
Yeah. Right. What else have we got? We're getting into July now. As bugger all decent games coming out, and it's not until I suppose you get towards the end of the year that you start to get to the more bigger releases, which obviously included Batman. Right. What else did we get that year? Let's have a look. He says, I'm looking now. Oh, yeah, no, so, yeah, Beatles Rock Band. You know, that has a fond place in my heart.
Yeah, me and Tara played a lot of
that. Yeah, the Beatles Rock Band, because we had one New Year's Eve, and all the family were around, and everybody did something. Because they obviously had the full rock band with the 2 guitars, the drum kit, 2 microphones. So if you weren't playing something, you were singing something, and it was just brilliant. And it was one of the best New Year's Eves we ever had, just sort of doing Beatles songs. Really, 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 really good fun.
Yeah, you'd never... I don't think you can buy it now, and you know what I mean? It's just a thing of its time. Like, there's no way that you can buy the Beatles Rock Band now, with all the licensing issues and everything. You'd have to get it used and all sorts of stuff. But I did have.
You'd have. I mean, first of all, you'd have to either have a PS3 or a 360. Then you'd have to have all the equipment. Now,
Yeah.
have you still got all your Rock Band stuff, Duke? Has Duke died?
That's of it. I have the guitar and the drums. I think I got rid of the mic, but I have some of it. I'm gonna go back to it someday, man. Just watch.
I know. It's weird to think, isn't it, that you're like, all that time ago, and like you said, it was a thing of its time, wasn't it? It was like when it came out, it was like, it's amazing, and it was a ridiculous amount of money. It was over £100, wasn't it, to get all the stuff?
I bought all that shit used, baby.
Yeah, the communist game store, man. That's where you need to go.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I think I went to GameStop. No. I remember where I got it. The neighbors around the corner, they were getting rid of theirs, and I was like, "Oh, but what? It's probably for the what is it for? Like, what system? Because most people had it for the Wii, and so I was like, it's probably for the Wii, and then they're like, no, it's for the Xbox 360. I'm like, I have an Xbox 360 sold, and I went and got it. And their little son helped it and carry it over. I was like, thanks, dude. He's like, yeah, I'm kind of sick of this now. I'm like, all right, well, thank you.
I'll take it off your hands.
That's right.
But yeah, I think the Beatles one was the best one that came out because it had nearly all of the massive songs on it, and everybody knows them. So even Grandma can sing along because she knows the songs.
Well, yeah. Hey, if your grandma's cool, she might know the words to King of Rock, which was eventually released for Rock Band.
Yeah.
Green Last Forever, whatever it was called. God, that song was the worst. I hate it.
Hated it.
Yeah.
Well, I love the Beatles Rock Band, and it was a great game.
Yep, me and Tara loved it.
Played loads. Right, what else have we got? Halo 3 ODST came out this year.
Yeah. I want to play that again. It came.
I liked ODST.
I bought the the Halo Master Collection that came out on the Xbox One like years ago.
Right.
And it came out. ODST came out as a free expansion on it. So I've been meaning to go back to it. It's been a long time. I haven't played it since 2009. I have no idea really. Halo I've kind of fallen out of love with anyway. I'm not even bothered playing Halo 5. Can't even be arsed. So I don't know. My relationship with Halo changed quite a lot.
You see, Halo 3 ODST for me, I really enjoyed it because I played it on my own. Because you could still play it in co-op, couldn't you, with someone else?
Yep.
But I played it alone, and I think it benefited from playing it alone because it gave you that feeling of isolation, like you had been. Because you basically a dude who's crash landed, haven't you, in some like city?
Yep.
And it was just really cool, and the atmosphere was really it was like very different to a normal Halo
It
game.
was like all the music was like jazz.
Yeah, it was just more noir, wasn't it, and just cool.
It was.
Yeah, really, really enjoyed that game. Right, what else did we get? We're into September now, man. There should be some big releases coming up. Let's see. Motorstorm Arctic Edge, which I didn't like. That was on the PSP, so I didn't really play that.
Nobody ever plays on the PS.
Oh, one of my favourite games of all time came out on the Wii. It was a Wii game. Dead Space Extraction is really good. Really, really good. That's one of my favourite games one of my favourite Dead Space games. Full stop. Yeah, it was really, really well done. It was probably one of the best games that came out on the Wii for me. So there you go. Great game. Really well done.
Is it just a light gun game?
Yes and no. It was and it wasn't.
It is.
It kind of was. It was good, though. It worked. It
It's
worked
a light
really
gun
well.
game.
I know, but it was good and it had a full-on story and it was a long game as well. It wasn't like... And it just filled in a lot of cool sort of story elements that you probably didn't get from the other games.
Imagine if they released this on the Oculus Go.
Oh, man, I've been well in for that.
Wow.
I'll be totally up for it. And it would probably run on there as well, to be fair.
Probably.
I mean, come on, let's be honest. It was a Wii game. That thing was like a calculator. So, yeah, Dead Space Extraction was one of my favourite Wii games. Just worked. But, yeah, it was gimmicky. But it was still good. It was still good. Oh, Chinny, another favourite of yours here. Saw, the video game.
I do like Saw. It's a terrible game, but I like it. God, I haven't played it. I haven't seen it for a long time. But yeah, I don't know why I liked it so much. I'm not really into scary games or anything like that. I don't know. I think it was just right time, right place. There is a Saw 2 as well. I never played Saw 2. Weird, but yeah, I've got this.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny? We went to the smelly shop on Saturday because Kay had her old phone, wanted to sell it. And while we were in there, I was having a look at PS3 because Kay's obviously still got the PS3 upstairs. You know, she still uses that from time to time. And I was like, oh, and you could get Mass Effect was £1. What else was it I saw that was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. I'm just trying to think now. Saw was there. That was like 75p for Saw.
Wow.
I was like, shall I get it for 75p? Give it a
75p.
play. You know, I'll be honest. If you wanted to play, you know, go back and play some of these games on the PS3. They're so cheap. The games,
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
like crazy
But
cheap.
not as cheap as Defense Grid 2 on the VR.
No, that's a bit dearer, to be fair. Dearer than £1. What else was it? I'm trying to think what I saw. What was funny was Red Dead Redemption's 15 quid. I was like,
Still,
oh yeah.
I think the best way to play video games, if you're not bothered about playing them straight away, is just be 10 years behind.
Yeah, exactly. I've done that most of my life.
It's because if you're 10 years behind,
But
it looks
they
such a
get to tune
killing.
people out when they talk about the new games on the podcast.
Your problem is that you're on a podcast every week and you need to fucking play games, dude.
Yeah, I need to start a podcast with people who are 10 years behind, like me. Hey guys, what's up with this Dragon Age Origins? Is this game awesome or
Well,
what?
what you need to do is just like record versions of the show, but add your bit in 10 years later. So yeah, you're right, Mike. You are right. The ending to Red Dead Redemption 2 is really, really good.
Next one that came out, which you mentioned earlier, Chidi, Uncharted 2, Among
Yeah.
Thieves.
Probably my favourite Uncharted. I haven't
Yeah,
played
I was just
4,
going to say,
but
I think it's the best one as well.
it was the highlight, I think.
Yeah, and I think as well, because Uncharted, the original, was all right, but still
Yeah,
felt
it's
like
slow.
a real Tomb Raider knockoff.
Yeah, it was
You know,
slow.
it's like-
Two was the one that separated. Like,
It sort of came into its own,
yeah,
didn't it?
Uncharted was like a decent game, but Uncharted 2 was the one that like everybody was like, okay, this is a AAA game now. This is another level.
Yeah, and it was brilliant, weren't it? It was just like, it was just something else. And also, what I think it did was just show what the PS3 was capable of when someone knew how to use it. you know, and sort of get the most out of it, you know, with the graphics, the animations, and obviously all the mocap, because this is when, you know, you started to really see natural looking movement and stuff in games. But yeah, very, very cool. I mean, just an excellent game, Uncharted 2. Machinarium came out.
Wow. I thought this came out later.
Oh, this came out 2009. I love that game. I played that with Millie. I remember Millie and I just sitting down and playing it. Just awesome.
Yeah.
If you've never played this game, by the way, it's so cheap. You can pick it up for like £1 or something, can't you? It's on sale all the time, Machinarium. And if I remember rightly, there was just a browser version, wasn't there? You could just play in a browser.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure there was. And then one of the biggest games that nobody saw coming came out this year, which was Borderlands.
Yeah.
Borderlands.
This was a huge community game, wasn't it? I mean, like everybody was playing this.
Yeah, it was good at the time.
It was.
Borderlands games.
I think the first one was the best one though, because it was again a bit like Batman. It was just like nobody really heard a lot about it. It came out, and then everyone's like, "This is amazing."
It definitely. What I like about Borderlands was like it felt really different to anything that you played before. You know, like I hadn't really played. It was basically an MMO or a dungeon crawler, but first person, and it was like a mashup of a genre that we hadn't seen. It's dime a dozen now. You know, it's basically
They had these really cool cell shaded graphics, didn't they? That made it look really cool.
It's basically like there's that as well, but it's basically Destiny, right? A single player co-op Destiny. But now we see it all the time, and also the style of it was cool that we'd never seen before, which we see all the time now. But yeah, it was different. I think because it was different and it did something new that it got rewarded for it. I don't think when I look back at it, like I think it was a good game. I enjoyed it. I don't think it was as good as probably. I don't think it ages well. And a
lot of these games don't, do they?
I played a lot of Borderlands 2, by the way. I played shit tons of Borderlands 2, but I had a lot of bad luck at that time when Borderlands 2 came out, because when I played it, I played it for like loads of hours, played it. Then I knocked over my 360 and scratched the disc, so I couldn't play it anymore. Then I got it back, and then that was the same time that I got burgled and I'd lost my save.
Oh God, I remember that. They took everything, didn't they?
And they took everything. So like Borderlands 2, I could never get going because of one thing or another. So, but Borderlands 1, I played a lot. I finished it. It was good. I just don't think.
And let's not forget the big selling point was like all the random weapon drops.
Yeah, and when you actually like broke it down, it was just like same type of gun, but it shoots a bit differently.
But there's like over 1,000 different guns or whatever it was, wasn't it? It was thousands of guns.
It was a gimmick, but it worked well. Like, you know, when you spawn your vehicle in, and it was a good co-op game. And I mean, I always like co-op games with Marsh. You know. And Borderlands,
it was the kind of game you could dip in and dip out of, I think.
Yeah, and just dick around and
making it fun to just jack around.
It's a good one just to like you got some mates, shoot some people up, raid some stuff, and that was it really. It wasn't much else. There wasn't a lot of depth to it, I wouldn't say, when you get into it. But yeah, it was good. Borderlands.
Really good. And then in October we had Grand Theft Auto: The Ballad of Gay Tony.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think it's it's probably one of the better things to come out of GTA 4. Like, I know a lot of people didn't like the main story in GTA 4. I loved the main story in GTA 4, but I think for a lot of people, the Ballad of the Gay Tony was kind of what everybody. It seemed to have calmed everybody. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people loved and hated GTA 4, the story. Not everybody's into bikers and stuff in for the Lost and Damned, but with the Ballad of the Gay Tony, everybody seemed to like it. And it was I think it was one of the very first games that featured a soft penis scene, which it did.
Yeah, soft penis
Yeah,
seeds,
soft
lovely.
penis.
Soft penis. And then in November, one of the biggest selling game franchises of all time came out. That continues to sell billions every year, presumably, which was Just Dance on the Wii. You remember this?
Still going.
Still going, and I mean, obviously, this was like a phenomenon when it came out. I remember walking past HMV, and there were people promoting it outside, dancing in the middle of the road.
So like you make it like Just Dance is a massive thing. It hardly came into my life.
No, and it hardly came into mine. But I mean, lest we forget, it was a big game. It was, I mean, not our sort of game, but sold millions, millions and millions and millions. And everyone like, this was when everyone was like, keep fit on the Wii, you know, just dancing, and it maps your dancing. No, it doesn't. You're just shaking the controller around. It's not really doing it.
But it worked.
I remember people taking the piss by just sitting there moving the controller to make it look like they were dancing when they weren't, and they were still like winning.
Yeah, getting all the points. Yeah.
Getting all the points even though they weren't actually doing it.
Yeah.
Right, what else did we have? We had other stuff came out. Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah. Left 4 Dead 2 was very controversial. Do you remember why, Stu?
Because they announced it at E3, and this was one of the very few occasions that Valve have ever announced a game at E3. And then said it was coming out the same year, and everyone was like, "What the hell? Valve don't do this." And I don't know. I don't understand why everyone got so much like the knickers in a twist about it.
I think mainly because we kind of thought more was coming to Left 4 Dead 1. From our point of view, like they just released the the multiplayer where you could play as the zombies. That didn't come out straight away. That came out after, and then people was expecting like another map and stuff like that. And then they just announced 2, and you're like, oh, hang on, I'm not done. I've just bought your last game. Now I've got to buy a new game. I thought you was just going to sell me a new map, and I would have been happy. Like people would have been happy with a new map, but instead they made like a whole new campaign, and some could argue like a better game. Like Left 4 Dead 2 is technically a better game than Left 4 Dead 1.
I didn't like it as much though. For some
no,
reason.
I think a lot of people prefer the first one for many different reasons. I think some of the levels are slightly more interesting in 1. I think they're both pretty good. Like there's not much between them. Yeah, I think they're cool. I think the soundtrack is cooler in 2. But yeah, they're both pretty good. And the jockey is a really, really funny addition. He's the one
you could ride people, couldn't you?
He jumps on your head and rides your head.
Yeah.
And
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's really, really funny. I quite like the characters on 2 as well. I thought they were better characters.
2 more games I'm going to mention because obviously we are running long on time. 2 games. Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah, the first, and probably some say the best Assassin's Creed game. Like that was the first Assassin's Creed game for everybody to go, okay, this is what Assassin's Creed is, not that first game, because the first game came out in 2007. They took a break in 2008.
Let's remember we had a cool character in Ezio, and he was probably what made it as good as it was for me.
And they continued to make Assassin's Creed games after 2 every year till Syndicate, which was Syndicate was like 2014, I think.
Something like that, wasn't it?
Something like that. So they made an Assassin's Creed game every year after 2, which is unbelievable.
Yeah. And the last game I'm going to mention, which again, I played a lot of games on the Wii that weren't sort of standard mainstream games. But this was another one of my very favourite games on the Wii, which was Silent Hill Shattered Memories, which was on the PS2 as well, but it was such a good game. Such a good game. Yeah, really, really good Silent Hill game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. And I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else to mention.
Classic stuff.
Yeah, classic year. Really, really good year.
What was your favorite game from that year, listeners? Write in, emails.
Yeah, tell us what your favorite game of 2009.
Is there a game that we didn't mention?
Yeah, because it's some we didn't mention.
It's a sleeper hit. Like.
Yeah, lots of games came out. So that's it for that, and we have got one speak pipe which I've forwarded on to you, Duke. So we'll do that, and then we'll get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Speak pipe. It's the way to leave a message for us.
All right, this speak pipe is from Derek Sains. So let's hear what he has to say. Oh, some funky music. Get down.
Hey, veteran gamers, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Wow.
And if you're not into all that Christmas stuff, then have a happy holidays, veteran gamers. It's Derek Sains again, and I thought just send you a quick speak pipe. I'm going to do a final speak pipe of the year next week. It's going to be a multi-pod quiz involving film, TV, music,
nice,
video games, interpretive dance, and
yes.
no, sorry, I'm keeping the interpretive dance quiz for the Boss Wave.
Oh man,
I know, they get all the best quizzes.
They get all the best quizzes.
But no, this year, quite a lot of major releases. I just had a quick question for you. Do you think there's one game this year which has been underappreciated or it's gone a bit under the radar? Could be a AAA title or an indie game, anything like that. And I think the one for me is Yoku's Island Express, which is the platform puzzler, which involves pinball as well. It's worth checking out. And I think that's it for now. So until next week's quiz, I just say keep on gaming.
Get down.
That's good enough. We just finish about. Yeah.
It's good enough. Finish about there. Thank you. A game that's been underappreciated this year. I don't know. I don't play a lot of new games, as you all know, so I don't have anything to say about that.
There you go. I would say Forgotten Island. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about that apart from me. And it's a really good game.
It's shit.
It's not shit. It's good. But yeah, Forgotten Island for me is probably the game that people probably should play that they probably haven't done. It's good. Really good.
I don't really have any, I think.
What about you, Chinny? Any games people should play?
I can't think of any. No.
Chinny only plays mainstream games, so he hasn't got like one that no one might have played.
I only play good games, yeah.
He only plays mainstream stuff.
Good games, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Looking at the list of all the games that came out this year.
I think Overcooked 2 is probably didn't get as much.
But is that underappreciated though?
It probably didn't get as much fanfare as 1 , but it's better than 1.
There's a game that I think didn't get the recognition it deserves. It's called Far Cry 5.
Ugh.
That was a game.
Yeah.
Blech.
Yeah.
I can say blech because I played it. Seriously.
Yeah. Bleh. There you go. I've seen it, and I'm saying bleh.
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 Bleh, bleh,
So there you go. I don't think there's much more to say than that. So let's do some shout outs and get the hell out of here.
Oh, yeah. It's time for some shout outs.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
Shout out. Duke, over to you.
Yeah, I'll shout out everybody listening. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you listening. And I will shout out Antonio because he got some good news. There's like somebody looking to talk to him about his project that he's working on. I don't remember exactly what it said, but that's some really good news. So good luck with that, Antonio. And yeah, everybody on Twitter, Phil Olsen and Obi-Wan Shinobi and Richard Webster and Fraser. I'm just looking through my Twitter feed now. That's it.
There you go. Right, Chinny, over to you.
Shout out to my brother who has also finished Red Dead Redemption 2 and has been bothering me all week to look, where are you now? Where are you now? Where are you now?
That's funny.
And he's been streaming, my brother has.
Wow, get him.
Yeah. He's set up a Twitch channel and YouTube channel for the Entertain Nerds.
Oh, none of us.
And he's streaming on there. So if you want to check him out, he's over there. So Entertain Nerds YouTube channel, I believe, is there, and the logo is a controller, I think. And yes, there you go. So I said I would shout him out, and I did.
I know he's got himself a regular slot on there, hasn't he?
Yes. Yeah. So he's part of the crew now.
Part of the crew.
Part of the crew.
Oh. He deserves it though. He's a good lad. He's a good lad, your brother. The real chin.
The real. I think his gamer tag now is the legit Chinny or something like that.
The legit chin.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So yeah. I don't think he asked for permission off me, if I mind.
Oh,
but,
that's all right.
You know, I don't
So
mind.
what's the matter with him?
It's fine. No big deal. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Done.
That's it. For me, there's similar to you, really. Just a big shout out to all the people who contribute to the show. Most weeks, shall I say? Because not got a lot this week, but yeah, I know most weeks people send us
People are
emails.
busy.
And
People are busy.
Christmas is coming.
We're pretty consistent. We get a lot of love from listeners and stuff, so
We do.
we have to
So,
thank
yeah,
them.
keep
Not every
the
week it
love
happens.
coming. Keep the love
Yeah.
coming. And obviously Derek, who's very dependable. So thank you, Derek, because you always send us stuff. And that's about it for me. So it's just sort of thanks to everyone who contributes and listens to the show and stuff.
Merry Christmas to everyone, because
Merry Christmas.
when the next time, our next episode, are we doing anything? We haven't really planned.
I don't know. I never know. I'm always like, I don't know. What are we doing?
So we're recording this, listeners. You're going to be listening to this on the 20th of December, but we recorded it on the 16th because, I don't know, that's the way we do it. So we're going to record a show on the 23rd.
Yes, I'm available.
Derek?
23rd, yes, why not?
And then are we going to record a show on the 30th?
And the good thing, what's a good thing about the 23rd? A good thing about the 23rd is I'm off work the 24th, so I can do my usual get a little bit drunk while we're recording the show on the 23rd. Woohoo!
So we
Why
could.
not? I don't have to grade no papers that day, so maybe I'll be sipping on a little potion for the motion.
Oh yeah.
So we can either have people come on, guests, on the 23rd, which is next week.
Yeah, why not?
And then have a bit of a Christmas celebration. People bring their Christmas stories, what they're getting, da 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 da. You get a bit pissed, Stu. That sounds
I'll
good.
Get a little bit drunk.
And then on the 30th, do we talk about like what the game of the year stuff there, or what do we do?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, we can, I guess.
Well, I suppose we need time to play these games, don't we? If there's any more you want to get in.
I ain't never gonna get Red Dead finished by then, I don't think. But
Not with that
I can
attitude.
try. I can try. See what happens.
What? You gotta believe. Da 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 da.
I've got 2 days off in the week this week, so I have got time when I can actually sit down and actually play some games.
Time, play the game.
So maybe we record Game of the Year in January. I think that's what the usual.
Yeah, I think that's probably better. We'll just do a bit of a New Year's show.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
All right, we done?
We're done.
What else did you want to discuss?
There you go. Job done.
Oh.
I just want to say, this game. I'm done.
We're done.
We're done.
We're done for another week.
That's the end of that chapter.
It is. It is. That's the end of that show.